making peace with the past and looking forward to the future. Good afternoon to one and all present here, respected judges, teachers, and my dear audience. So today I'm here to speak on the topic, happiness is a state of mind. Happiness is a key feature to live our life, that leads our life peacefully. Happiness can be found in every single work we do. Happiness differs from every person, whether it be doing your work on time, or completing your work, or helping others. There are many ways to be happy. We all know the basic meaning of happiness. We can find happiness in every single work we do. We can find happiness within ourselves. It basically depends upon us, on how we think, how we find happiness. Even the small achievements that we achieve every day can lead to happiness. My experience of being happy is very different. The 2 stressful years that we all have gone through, that is the time that was the time that I started finding happiness in all the little works I did. For example, by completing my work or helping my sister in her daily activities and attending online classes. The fact is that every single person cannot be happy while attending online classes, but as I said, you have to find happiness in whatever you do. I know that it is difficult to find the ways to be happy, but once we get that knack of achieving happiness, then it becomes easier. Happiness is the only factor which kept me going on through all those 2 years. Another word for happiness can be positivity. Keeping your mind in a positive state can also lead to happiness. The only problem that arises is that people don't know the exact ways to find happiness. One way which I used for myself for being happy is that closing my eyes and taking a deep breath and thinking about the favorite thing I love. The beach, the sea, the waves, the cool breeze, the high sky, vibrant color of the sea makes me feel happy. There are many ways for achieving happiness, and one is to be creative. Try to find out your inner talents and your hidden hobbies so that you can achieve happiness. Researchers also say that the creativity makes us feel happy and releases the dopamine or the feel-good hormone. So, I would like to conclude by saying that very little is needed to make a happy life. It depends upon all within yourselves in your own way of thinking. Thank you and have a great day ahead.
Social media is the ultimate equalizer. It gives a platform to voice, and anyone can go and engage over there. Vote it, engage you want it. But what good is a platform to engage when you could do it given the opportunity in flesh and bone? A warm and good afternoon to the respected judges, teachers, and my dear friends. Today, I'm going to speak on a topic which can be considered very controversial among different age groups. It may be considered as 2 sides of the same coin, and that is, does social media promote or harm real-life communication? And the answer to it is yes and no. And it may differ from people to people. There's a fine line between the both of them, and there's also a contrast. But the contrast is not acknowledged by the people, which may cause discrepancies in their opinions. When people fail to acknowledge this contrast, there are various opinions arising, which may cause conflict. For example, consider 2 individuals and their exposure to social media are the same, but one may be more antisocial compared to the other. So we can conclude that social media is not the reason why people are bad at communicating. It may be because they have a lot of personal issues and self-esteem issues as well. So you cannot derive the conclusion that social media causes people to be antisocial. But social life should be given a priority, as it is very important. A good social life can be maintained by having a healthy balance between your social media and your day-to-day activities. People may consider the newer generations to be more antisocial, which I do not agree with, because people nowadays are more prone to the people they open up to. They are more cautious and they like to keep their circles closer, which I think is the reason why people are more shut out in the current generations. So to conclude, I'd like to say that to an extent it promotes real-life communication, but also diminishes your real-life communication skills if there's not a healthy balance between both of them. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to be speaking on the topic the need of vocational education. Vocational education can be defined as the education to work as a technician or a skilled craftsperson or artisan. It helps to shape an individual and excel in their job fields. Vocational education is a flexible system, and it provides us with many options such as experiencing a new job or experiencing the workforce for the first time and upgrading our skills. Vocational education is taught in many schools, and there are many schools set up for vocational education and especially designed institutions. It is a blessing for any country to have a vocational education. Therefore, there are many people who are giving emphasis. There are many countries which are giving emphasis on vocational education. Vocational education also have a shorter time span of courses than the higher education courses. So I think that vocational education should be given more importance in many countries. Thank you.
Perfection does not exist. You can always do better and you can grow. Good afternoon, respected judges, teachers, and my dear friends. Today, I am going to speak about the topic, one area in which India needs to improve. There are many areas in which India needs to improve, but I think one of the most basic and important area in which India needs to improve is the caste system. Being one united nation, there is diversity in language, culture, and traditions. But this is what makes India unique and different from other countries. We must be proud of this. Though we have the constitution to protect us from discrimination, why rely upon the constitution or the government when we can solve this problem at our own level? We must respect each other's ideas. We must learn how to stay together and live together in order to grow together. The ultimate solution to this problem is education, because education can change the mindset of the people. If people start respecting the individuality of each living being, respect each other's opinions and ideas, then it will help for the nation to grow. I would like to conclude by saying this, that despite all the differences, there exists a remarkable unity. A sense of remarkable unity among us, and that is why India is presented as a nation that exhibits unity in diversity. We must be proud of this. Thank you. Not because everything is good, but because you can see good in everything. A very warm and pleasant morning to an inaugural. Today, my topic is happiness is a state of mind. We often compare ourselves with others. We often think others' life is better than ours. Let me tell you a secret related to this.
that we lose our mind and we often feel sad when we don't have those. We also tend to be sad when we have our mixed relations with our family, friends, etc. But we must know that we should find solutions to the problem instead of being sad and sit alone in a room with those problems. When you have a positive attitude, you tend to attain happiness. Always keep this in your mind. You are the one who decides whether to be happy or unhappy. Nobody else can tell you what to do or what to think. Happiness is just a state of mind. It all depends upon how you think. I would just like to conclude my speech by saying that if we think positive about ourselves, about others, the world will become a better place to live in. One becomes what one sees. We are the one who decides whether to be happy or unhappy. So, choice is yours. Thank you.
Happiness is not a possession to be prized. It is a quality of thought, a state of mind. Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about happiness is a state of mind. Every human being wants to be happy. Of course, not everyone can be happy at all the times because we human beings go through different feelings and emotions every day. For some people, being happy is getting what they always wanted, which applies to both materialistic and non-materialistic things. For example, a kid might get happy when they get a new toy. For a teenager, happiness must be getting a new phone or a new electronic gadget. But what I believe true happiness is, that true happiness is a state of mind. We can only be truly happy when our mind is calm, collected, and very peaceful. This happiness can never be compared to the happiness that materialistic things get us. Happiness is not something to be achieved. It is something to be experienced. Happiness always lies within us. The happiness which lies within us is what true happiness is and not the external things. We humans should really learn to appreciate all these small things in our life. We should be proud and we should be happy of what we are and what we have. We should not compare ourselves to others and we should always be self-confident. We should always try to make our mind happy. We should make sure that we are placed first. We should make ourselves happy before making others happy. Yes, making others happy and spreading happiness is very important. But to do that, we should make sure that we are happy. We are confident about ourselves. That's the only time only we will be able to spread happiness to others. Thank you.
Good afternoon, respected judges, teachers, and my dear friends. Today I'm here to speak on the topic, one area that India needs to improve upon more. The area that I feel that India needs to improve upon on the more is the Indian education system. Education is very necessary for every human being. Education is the fine line that divides humans from animals. Education is not preparation for life. Instead, education is life itself. The intelligence of a student cannot be judged by the marks that are scored by them in an exam. This is what the Indian education system has got it wrong. The education system is completely based on just marks. A student is labeled as intelligent or dumb based on marks that they score in an exam, which is not true. Education is the most powerful weapon with which you can change the world. I quote the words of Nelson Mandela, and India had a literacy rate of 74% in the 2011 census report, with the global average being 86%. In India, when a student gets low marks, they say that the student is dumb or is not intelligent. But instead, when they score a high marks, they are labeled or branded as smart. This is not wrong. This is wrong. The student may have scored low marks, just because of some reason that they couldn't prepare well for the exam. They may have been ill, they may have not gotten enough time, but no one cares to listen about that. But you may have gotten high marks just because you have that skill of memorizing long question answers and then vomiting it onto the exam paper. That doesn't mean you're smart, is it? No. If you get good marks, you are intelligent. That is wrong. An examination is just one of many that are about to come. It is just like a test. It is just nothing that determines whether you are intelligent or not. And another factor in the Indian education system, that is parents and teachers, they start to compare your marks with those of others. For example, the neighbor's kid, he gets higher marks, and then your parent goes like, what about you? You got 99. What about the other mark? This is what I feel that is wrong with the Indian education system. As I'm running short of words and time, I end my speech by quoting Nelson Mandela again. Education is the most powerful weapon with which you can change the world. Thank you.
Good afternoon, respected judges, teachers, and my dear friends. Today, I stand in front of you all to express my thoughts on the topic: is social media harms or promotes real-life communication? I would like to begin myself with a quote. In a world full of algorithms, hashtags, and followers, you should know the true meaning and importance of human connection. Since the launch of social media, there has been a huge impact and revolution of human communication. Social media frequently helps us to stay connected and updated on news, etc. and get us to know and get close to our friends, close ones, even those who live far and miles away from us. For example, in the COVID situation, we were all alone and isolated in our homes. But with the help of social media, we were able to stay in touch and in connection to our friends, close ones, and relatives. But that's not all. There's another side to social media's impact on communication. Do you think the impact of social media is broadening people's communication or good and not bad? Well, that's not true. Social media helps in bringing people together and stay connected on online media. But on the other side, it has negative impacts and effects on physical, real-life communication. People tend to avoid and procrastinate meeting with friends in real life and in person because of social media eases like FaceTiming and video calling and messaging. It's harder to judge people's behavior on social media platforms and online communication, which might even result in online frauds and exploitations. With this, I would like to conclude my speech. Although there are benefits of social communication through social media, the adverse effects of social media are even for the negative. Whether social media is harming or benefiting you is dependent on how you are using it. Thank you.
The weird thing about internet is that 10 people can make you feel like the whole world. Good afternoon, respected judges, teachers, and my dear friends. What do you usually do when you have free time? Scroll through TikTok, post or copy pictures in Instagram, or chat with anonymous people. So today I'm here to answer a simple question. Does social media harm or promote real-life communication? From during this COVID lockdown days, from my personal experience, I could tell you, I became an introvert. A girl who used to talk 24 hours became an introvert. So how did this actually happen? Basically, my family drifted apart. My dad used to watch movies in Netflix. My mom used to watch serials. And me, I used to Instagram. My smaller sister used to watch vlog. In the end, my mom ended up in depression. So, leave this COVID days. What is happening right now? When you're talking with a person in your class, in the end you're saying, I'll text you later. So, you're texting with the same person and you're feeling uncomfortable in real life and feeling comfortable while doing texting. So media is making you. This social media is making you uncomfortable during real life communication. But I won't say that social media is all bad. For example, you take a lonely person. She finds a good match in social media. She finds a perfect person to share all the feelings. For example, this internet weddings. It ended up as successful for many people. This bride and groom meet together in Instagram or Tinder. But in the end, if you ask me if social media is more negative or more positive, of course I would say it's negative. Because nowadays people care more about followers than friends. I would like to conclude with a small question. If you're not Snapchatting, you're Twittering. If you're not Twittering, you're Instagramming. If you're not Instagramming, you're Facebooking. So, what are you in reality? A slave to social media or a person who just want 100k followers with no friends? Thank you.
The more active you are, the more you learn to live life. The more ignorant you are, doesn't mean you're stupid. Greetings everyone, respected judges, my friends and teachers. Today I'm inviting your attention to hear a few words on the topic, ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss. Wonderful words quoted by Thomas Gray. From this we can understand that Thomas Gray was trying to convey that it's okay not to know the truth at particular situations. Ignorance is great. Ignorance is bliss. He also says that it's folly to be wise. And now the question comes, can you explain it? Because we didn't get it much. Every single thing has merits and demerits. Sometimes it's alright, but at a particular situation, it can make you seriously crazy. For example, if there is a person who has tonsillitis or something like that in his throat, the best thing rather than going to a doctor, he Googles it. And that's the worst mistake. And then you get a list of items. You might get a throat cancer, then surgeries and operations and lakhs of cash spending, and at last that's a lot of tension up in your mind. Now, if you were ignorant about that, you could stay cool. But talking about the demerits, I still remember a story that my mom told me once when I was a kid. She told me that there was a frog living inside a well. It only looked at all the four walls, the algae in the water, and few animals or insects that live inside the water. It completely didn't know what was outside world. It had no such contact. So you see, being ignorant can be good and also can be negative. Because as I said, every single thing has a merit and a demerit. I would just like to conclude my speech by saying the famous quote of Zach D. Zesha, if you're ignorant, if ignorant blisses, then knock the smile off my face. Thank you.
Hindustan! Good afternoon. Respected judges, teachers, and my schoolmates. Thank you for your time. You must be curious about what I just did. Because today I'm going to speak about the thing India needs to improve on. Most of you, all of you are Indians, right?
Yeah.
Not me. So I would like to speak about the thing India needs to improve on. India is the 7th largest country and has the 6th biggest economy. So what's that one thing India can improve on? If I start yapping about it, you would immediately want me out of here because as I told you, I'm not Indian. But I'm Indian by heart. So I would like to give my opinion. Let's look. India can improve on its governance, educational system, and inflation. Governance, I definitely would not speak about that. But let's focus on educational system. Because as I'm studying in an Indian school, I have the right to speak about that. India, its educational system, it's very hectic. Basically every student would say that. But let's generalize the topic. Its educational system, India should focus its educational system in rural areas. Because Mahatma Gandhi once said, India would perish without its villages, and its villages are everything. So we have to respect what he said, right? India can also improve on its health education, educate the parents, and also make sports compulsory. But you know what I think? Our school system should teach us how to make money, rather than creating a system where we set up worker bees for bigger corporations. But this topic becomes a little controversial, right? I should not speak about it more. And the other thing I think our schools should work on is teaching us how to survive adulthood. And this is all what I expect from my country. My country. I'm Indian by heart. And definitely something India should improve on. Thank you.
A wonderful good afternoon to all, respected judges, teachers, and all gathered here. Today, I'm going to speak on the topic, one area that India needs to improve on. Our India is a very culturally diverse and very independent country. It is developing, and we should accept that our country is vast and there are a lot of differences. But have you thrown light on some differences and distinctions that I was scared to discuss? And one of it is population control. This increasing population has so much worse effect on our country. Corruption, unemployment, economic instability, illiteracy, pollution, and decreasing resources. Corruption. As the population increases, we feel to devour more power, and everyone is power hungry. This creates a lot of corruption. As the people increases, the rate of corruption is also increasing. Unemployment. What do you think is the rise of our population? Unemployment. People doesn't have enough jobs to fit in, and the flying and migrating of professionally educated people into other countries also contribute to the unemployment, and our living standards are lowering. This is creating economic instability in our country. Anybody wants to live in an economic unstable country? No. That is why most of the professionals, educated of India are flying and migrating to many countries. We are losing our worth and our treasure by this. And illiteracy. As a result, people are illiterate. When the economic instability happens and people are unemployed, they don't have enough money to literate themselves. This creates more illiteracy in our country. And one more thing, more population equals more pollution. Pollution is at an alarming rate all over our earth. And nowhere in every country it is there. But in India, as pollution is increasing, the population is the major cause of increase in pollution. As we drive around, as we litter, we don't think that one person will do what will about the country. This is lack of self-discipline. And illiteracy, unemployment, and this frustration and corruption is making us to think it is a cultural norm, and we are believing that it is to be followed. This social standard is very worse, and it is adversely affecting our self-discipline. We are forgetting our duty. And how can we fulfill our rights when we forget about our duties? This is why some people are scared to fight for their rights. And also, talking about this, the government should have the initiative to create a minimum wage limit. There is no minimum wage limit in our country. Some people get paid for very small jobs at a high rate, while some are very poorly paid. This should be stopped, and there should be a minimum wage limit. And there should be job security. In India, there is no secure jobs. Most of the jobs doesn't assure a security. One day you go to work as normal and you are fired. As I said, this increase in population increases the pollution. So first step to make India a geographically and economically more secure country, we have to reduce the pollution and population. Next is on a religious and cultural side, and more an abstract side. Getting over religious and superstition, myths, blind beliefs and taboos. Culture and our heritage should be preserved and nurtured. It is a very on road, and we should follow that. But does that mean that while we reinterpret these cultural norms and the culture we are following, we forget the real purpose why we went it? Now we are interpreting it into a taboo and creating a whole entire meaning out of something extremely not related to it. We are learning to accept other religions and castes from a young age. But why not the LGBTQ community? As in India, homosexuals and other transgenders are treated very badly. While we accept the differences of our violent race, be it the caste, gender, we are accepting this and students are learning to accept this day by day. And in schools, they are taking initiative to do this. But why not the mindset and perspective difference of people? People have different perspective and different mindset. And these are not cared enough. So the most influential thing that is ruining our country is that overpopulation, and also we are not learning to accept our differences. Whether the difference be in our race, our look, our color, anything, and it should not be also in our mental perspective. I am what I think I am a person, as a person I am. So we have to accept people's mindset and their perspective and respect it. As I'm ending my speech, I want you to remind that our country should be treasured, and it has many natural resources, and it is a treasure which is gifted for us. But we are ruining it, thinking about ourselves and not everyone. And the most important thing about this is these social standards created is ruining. So, once more, I'm reminding my topic, one area that India needs to be improved on the road. And this is the area I think India should be improved. And I hope this will reach our minds and we will be beginning a new day with understanding and accepting and not being scared to talk about these religious taboos or blind beliefs. Thank you.
Ignorance is bliss itself is a famous phrase, and it has a very miraculous meaning hidden in it. Good afternoon, respected judges, teachers, and my dear friends. Today I'm here to speak on the topic, ignorance is bliss. Failure, problems, gossips, we hear them daily, we face them daily. And what do? We remember them. We store them in our minds, thinking that they are really important to us. They affect us, they damage us. Then why do we need to remember them? Why do we allow them to affect us? Why don't we ignore them? Ignorance is bliss means that you're unaware of something unpleasant and it makes you happy because you don't know the reality, because you just know what you think, you just imagine it. Well, personally, I have had experience of ignorance is bliss. In 2018, when I went to meet my grandfather, I was really excited. I was really happy to meet him. But I didn't know the fact that I was going to meet him because it was his last day. It was a kind of ignorance in bliss. You know Charlie Chaplin, right? Very famous, and most of you love it. Do you know he was ignored by all his co-workers, and he truly believed that all his co-workers were his friends. He thought that all would help him when he needed. But no, after his operation, when he went through his report cards, he realized that he made even smallest grammatical mistakes in everything. He realized that all his co-workers were not his friends. They just used him for entertainment.
treated him like a child. He felt really unhappy, but he told that he was really happy before the operation. He was unaware of the fact that everyone made fun of him. Ignorance is bliss. Can be anything. It can be for a child who wants to go to a Disneyland trip, thinking, unaware of the fact that his or her parent will come with a long bill. Ignorance is bliss can be for a person who wants to start a business. Unaware of the fact, unaware of the limitations of their strategy. Ignorance and bliss can be for anything and can be for anyone. Just you have to find it. Thank you.
Good morning, dear judges, teachers, and my dear friends. Today, I'm here to deliver a speech on the topic, Ignorance is a bliss. First of all, what is ignorance? Ignorance is to ignore something, or can we say absence of knowledge? Yes, we can. Now, bliss. Bliss is the absolute happiness. Now, when we see this topic, ignorance is a bliss, we can talk for the topic and against the topic. It depends on the situation and time. For example, let's see or let's keep a fish. And for example, a fish is swimming under the sea and he does not know that there is land above it. He does not know that there is land above it. And if he comes to know that there is land above it, he will come and he will like to know that what exists in land. He has this feeling of curiosity to come and enjoy the life on the land. But he does not know, unfortunately, that he cannot survive on the land. Now, let's take case 1 and case 2. In case 1, we can keep as we, the students in a classroom, we are busy in our own world, writing something else, and we are not listening to what teacher is telling us. That means, in absence of knowledge, we are not knowing what is going all around us. We are ignoring the teacher. So what happens is, we become happy in our own self. But this is the negative side of the thought. Ignorance is a bliss. Now, ignorance is a bliss when we see the other side of the topic, other side, like the case 2. When we see, we are along with our friends. And our friends are discussing something which is very mischievous. But we ignore it. As it will make our personality down, we ignore that thing and we fail. So when we ignore something, we become self-sufficient. We are self-sufficient, self-confident about it. So, ignorance is a bliss is actually a thought said by Thomas Gray. Now, he meant that ignorance can be kept as a bliss as well as a depression. So, ignorance is a bliss keeps the perspective on time and situation. Thank you.
Good afternoon, respected teachers, judges, and my dear friends. Today I am going to speak on the topic, the need for vocational education. Before that, let us discuss what is vocational education. Vocational education is for people who want to prepare for jobs on manual or technical activities. And why is it important for us to have vocational education?
One that teaches us how to make a living and the other that teaches us how to live. Good afternoon, respected judges, teachers and my dear audience. Vocational education. An interesting term. Now, what is vocational education? Let's begin with that first. The term vocational education means that it lets you focus on one particular field or a career instead of focusing on a vast region and then deciding what you're going to do. For convenience, let's take an example. Now, let's say someone wants to become an electrician. Now, he will think about what he has to choose first. Science, commerce, arts. Then he'll have to bring a bag of money and enroll himself in a good college that will assure a good job. Now, isn't that very lengthy and time-taking? Instead of that, he can always opt to go to a vocational college that will spend at least 1 or 2 years in low budget and will also give him a surety of getting a good job. Now, what are the benefits of this vocational education? Let's begin with first and most important, time. Time, as we all know, is very, very important and waits for none. Now, if anyone opts for a normal traditional college, it will take at least 4 or 5 years. Whereas if he or she enrolls themselves into a vocational college, it will take maximum 2 years. You will get out of the college, you will enter the world quicker than all your other competence and you will start earning quicker. Now the second benefit of vocational education is budget. Not all of us are fortunate enough to have a lot of budget to enroll ourselves into a good private college, have a good budget of money and get an assurance of getting a job. Whereas a vocational college will cost a very little amount of fee and will allow you to get a good job with a security for your family and for yourself. Now the third benefit is that vocational education allows you to focus on your own career and allows you to get a practical application. Now we all are studying in the school or in any other college. Most of the students lack practical application. We all are good at theory. Most of us are even toppers or good enough to score very nice marks. What about the practical application? If I ask you to fix this tube light right now, will you be able to? Yes, sir. Yeah? I don't think most of us will be able to because taking my own example, I don't think I'll be able to do that either. So vocational education is what will help you to focus on practical application. Will help you to solve all practical problems that will be coming up in your future life. In conclusion, I would like to say that vocational education is something that will help you get very practical, get into a good college with less amount of money and less amount of time. Thank you.